welcome back to Screen Time Continuum. I am Mike, and I'm hanging out with the boys tonight. How y'all doing? Keelan, how you doing?
Doing pretty well. Can't complain at all.
Nice. Nick, how you doing?
Fantastic. Thanks for hosting tonight. I
Yeah,
feel
I
I
was.
feel I feel the pressure kind of off. It's nice to be a spectator.
I realized I had like two or three different openings, and I did not know what to go with. And then it just came up, and I was like, fuck.
Brevity is the soul of wit, right? There you go.
One would hope. It's a great way of hiding your fuck ups for sure. Tonight though, I have a little cult treat with Smiling Friends. It's an animation show that comes on Adult Swim at like midnight on Sundays or something. So it holds that very special spot where if you're up, you're probably not in the most clear state of mind, and you might be in the right condition for this because the show gets really strange and absurdist and surreal, and I absolutely enjoy it a lot. The premise of it is kind of simple. It's Smiling Friends is like a small charity whose mission is to bring happiness to everyone, and we follow two characters, um, Charlie and Pim, as they try to make their different clients that call in, or I guess patients, if it's a charity, if it's like a hotline,
Yeah.
as they try to make them
Clients.
smile. Yeah. Um, and at some point, it does get very close to being like a suicide hotline. I mean, in the first episode, we'll explore it is like a suicide hotline. And their general goal is just to spread cheer along the world. And you get to see their little misadventures. Um, but let's jump into just very basic first impressions. Keelan, what'd you think?
Oh, well, actually, I'll say this to begin. It's Adult Swim. So I automatically knew to kind of drop guard a little. Uh we were there for the beginning of the surge of all the things on Adult Swim. I can go down the list of crazy things we watched, or I watched at least. So initially, just knowing it was on Adult Swim, it was kind of a step back, like, okay, let your guard down. It's going to be either offensive or it's just going to be crazy. Following, after watching, pleasantly surprised. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I definitely believe, um, even if we were to pursue this no further than episode 2, I'm definitely finishing this season on my own.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see. I enjoyed the first two episodes, to be honest. I like a little, vignettes are some of my favorites. I like short, concise stories. So it always is a plus for me when you can kind of do a little story in 10 minutes or whatever. I said this off air, but it's a dank meme, and what else did I say? What did I call it? Oh, and a fever dream.
Fever dream.
Yeah,
Yep.
having a baby. Yeah, which I like. It's absurd. It's crazy. It's kind of creepy, um, which makes it fun. It keeps you on your toes a little bit. I laughed out loud a few times, and yeah, so pleasantly surprised. I think I can see what I'm in. God, I'm losing my words today. I can see what I am in store for the rest of the season for sure.
Nice. I was super worried when I brought. Well, I wasn't. I was more worried as we got closer to the show because I was half expecting to be like, "So, how's your first impression?" And like before I can finish the sentence, one of you would be like, "Why the fuck did you make me watch this?
Yeah, that was a thought.
What is wrong with you? Are you okay? Is everything going on? Is everything okay in your life?"
I knew by the incredibly chaotic, dissonant intro that like,
Oh, yeah.
okay, I see what we're doing here. Like with like the super fast, like it sounds like it's a song being fast forward through a cassette.
No.
Yeah.
The song
So
is called I think it's called Brown Smile, which I don't know if there's any play
boy.
with this.
Probably.
But
That
yeah,
sounds
no.
very suggestive. I just want to leave it at that.
Yeah. That was my kind of concern, but this can't for me it comes from like again like a love for original Adult Swim stuff. So like back in the day, if I wasn't playing World of Warcraft, I was watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Or
You
Death
know,
Clock.
Clock. There's tons of shows. I mean, more recently, like you have your Rick and Morty's, right? That just exploded. And I think this show, as its essence, kind of is somewhat in line to that strange absurdism that the first season of Rick and Morty was, or very much the pilot, because the pilot is all sorts of crazy in Rick and Morty, and this pilot too just gets all sorts of strange with and it's only like a running time of 11 minutes per episode. So you can even get there's 8 episodes in the first season if you want to try to binge them. So that's only like 88 minutes of content. So you can definitely work through it very quickly. But even like before that, I had oh god, it's like Mike and something's Twisted Animation Festival. There used to be like these
Why does
old
that sound familiar?
there used to be these like old animation festivals where you would just see these little vignettes of like the most disturbing or bizarre sorts of animation. And like growing up too, like outside of Adult Swim, I watched Ren and Stimpy, I watched Courage the Cowardly Dog, and all that stuff is not for children, even when it was on children's networks.
Oh yeah,
And-
man. Rocco's Modern Life was entirely inappropriate.
Oh yeah.
he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
sex line worker, right? He's like, oh
Yeah.
baby,
Oh, baby, oh, baby.
Hey.
And Mrs.
Ren
Big
and
Head
Stimpy.
wanted a piece. Yeah.
Oh, Mrs. Big Head definitely wanted a piece.
All right, so we can jump into the first episode. Well, real quick. So this is actually animated by the same folks that do Bob's Burgers, which is interesting. I think it's like Bento Box Productions, and the creators of the show are named Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack. I'm not well versed enough in animation to know what else they've done, but it's the first times I've heard their name, which is somewhat true that I find for Adult Swim shows that are like this, that kind of have this cult little following. And even more interestingly, I was driving through Venice over the weekend, and I found a giant pop-up Smiling Friends head. So like their company building is just a giant smiling emoji, I guess you can call it. That's like just the building itself. And right down in the heart of Venice, you see in a parking lot, you see like an air balloon version, or those like giant air things. I don't know, but I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, because it does like the show would fit in with the Venice vibe. This kind of weird misfit, sometimes artsy, sometimes shady sort of crowd.
We just want to make you smile.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have plenty of people down there for that.
Right.
First episode though, called Desmond's Day Out, and this show revolves around Charlie and Pim helping out. They get a call and they don't really know, like they're just in the office chilling. They get a call from their boss. They go up to the boss, and the boss goes, "Do you mind watching somebody eat or something like that?" And they're like, no, not at all. And his name is Mr. Boss in the show, and he's like this old guy with a giant head in a suit. But he pulls out like this weird deformed little baby and just starts breastfeeding him.
And he didn't do the hamburger motion, so I'm not sure if he's a real parent. No.
Right.
And then like I think the baby bites him. And he goes, no biting. No.
Do you want me to bite you?
Right.
Oh, so creepy.
And yeah, when that first hits, you're like, because it like you're just in this like break room and you're just watching them talk and they're watching some strange thing on the TV. And I think you're also introduced to Glib at that time, who is like this, who becomes a bigger character in episode 2.
I think we're introduced to Glib. Yeah, right after that, when we go back to Alan and the cheese thing.
Yeah, Alan and the cheese subplot is good though. So they get a call. They go to help out this client, and it's this guy Desmond, and the mom opens up the door, and what I loved about the mom was that like her walk cycle animation, it's like how she actually walks, is just like 2 frames. Just yeah. And it looks so ridiculous. And you're kind of like up to this point, you're getting like thrown around everywhere in terms of like tone and animation style, and all these various things. So like you're a little like you know what to expect, but at the same time you feel like it go in any direction. And they walk up to the door, to Desmond's door, and the mom like pangs on it and tells them that they're there, and they open it, and all of a sudden you've gone right back into the darkness because it's just this complete like shithole of a room where there's like a mattress with nothing on it laid down, or lay down on the floor, like a bunch of like used Kleenexes.
Right. Have you never seen a bachelor pad?
Hey, my house looks a little bit better than that. All right. I throw my Kleenex away. Thank you very much.
My mistake. My mistake.
And you're introduced to Desmond, who has a gun pointed to his head, and who's like in the sweaty. He's like a sweaty fat guy with the shirt and just wearing boxers. And both of them are like, both Charlie and Pim are like freaked out as to what's going on. And Pim, being like the tiny optimistic one, jumps up and goes, "Whoa!" Like tries to convince him to not do it, just to come along with him. And like they get Desmond's little exposition of him just having like a bad couple of years. It seems like his wife left him, yeah, his kids left him, his dog died, he lost his job, and he's just thinking about ending it all. And it was right around this time when I realized that Desmond's character is actually voiced by YouTuber, by Mike Stolzak from Red Letter Media. I can't pronounce his last name. It's probably not even Stole anything. It's probably some other last name. But Mike from Red Letter Media doing like I think it's the Mr. Plinky voice that he is, his character, that thing.
Oh, so that's a voice of a character he already has, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's good because whenever he goes into like this, like his depressed mode about like either watching a really bad movie or Mr. Plinket's like just shitting on mainstream Star Wars or something like that, he goes into this voice, and Desmond starts talking about like he's just like, if you guys don't make me smile, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself
and make you two watch.
I make you two watch.
Don't leave out the part that made it crazy.
Yeah.
It's sad if you just say I'm gonna shoot myself. It's crazy when you say I'm gonna make you two watch.
Yeah, it's true. And Charlie
is it? Oh, okay.
What?
I'm sorry. I was getting caught up on that idea for a second because I'm like, it seems like there's a paradox in there. It's like, how do you make somebody watch? By shooting them? Well, if you kill them, then they can't watch you.
Oh no.
I mean, you could do like the Clockwork Orange thing.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, pry their eyes open.
Well,
that's a 30-minute show, Nick, not in a 10-minute.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what, like keeping the gun to your head the whole time? Yes. Like, how do you gotta like?
How did his arm never get tired?
Yeah. So throughout the course of this whole episode until the very end, Desmond keeps the gun pointed at his head, and it's like one of those brilliant little touches because they go on a bunch of like, they see Pim's family, they go to an amusement park, they do a bunch, they go to a party. Yeah, and the whole time he's just walking around with a gun at his head.
Yep.
And like another funny part of the show is like Charlie pulls Pim back and you start to see like the cynical nature of Charlie, where he's like, look, this guy, like, look, I know it's our job to make people smile, but this guy seems pretty dead set on his plans, right, and we should just cut our losses short.
I'm wondering how Charlie is the lead on all of this. Pim should definitely be in charge of Charlie and not the other way around, at least from episode 1.
Yeah, it's true. Charlie, like, he's not about the company mission though. He's not about making people smile. Yeah. And so like I said, like they pull Desmond out and they take him over to Pim's family. And I think that's the first place they go is Pim's family, because he's like, let me show you how great family can be. And Pim's family is an absolute wreck.
Man.
I mean, his brother is is just fucking around with like a tech deck type
He's
thing.
a whiz at skateboarding, man.
Yeah,
With
he's a
Kevin
whiz.
and Ollie on the tech deck.
Yeah. Come on, show him, do the thing.
All I could do is Ollie, but I can't remember how to do it. Maybe I could kickflip.
Nope.
His sister hates him and dates a guy that just says alpha, like a shirt that says alpha on it. That's all it says.
The
And he
kisses
just-
were funny.
Yeah.
Every
Yes,
time
that
she
was
spoke,
fun.
she went,
I think she paid him to be there, and I think when he vomits, it's because he's grossed out that she keeps kissing on him.
maybe.
I ruined it. I ruined
ruined
it. There's like kids in the walls of the house on skateboards and children running around the table. And throughout like the whole like the little scene with his family, the kid running around the table keeps getting faster and faster and faster. Then you have Pim's mom, who is just a wreck, an alcoholic wreck, because she's just tired of dealing with that whole family. Because her husband too just sits and watches TV, and they're all watching like this weird alien show that I don't even know. Like it's just an alien dancing on a black screen.
It's like the
You know, like
3D
backdrop?
baby from the 90s.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
exactly, but it's an alien. Yeah.
Wow, I forgot about that baby.
Yeah, that's a good pull. I forgot all about
Dancing
it too.
baby, man. That was like the first meme. Like one of the first
Legitimately,
gifts. It
something-
was
or, yeah.
definitely one of the first gifts. but,
Probably the first viral thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the other cool, like all these deep cuts to old internet culture and old just meme culture as a whole. It gets subtle to the point where like I can't pick up certain things just like that. I know there's certain voices that I won't recognize, but if you're a watcher of like the old E-Bombs world of like old Newgrounds, things like that, you would probably pick up those voices. Like, oh, that's that person from so and so. Even if you were a part of like the original YouTube crowd when it didn't know what it was, and you had all these weird random videos of random shit. You will find like callbacks to those things, which is cool. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And so the mom and the dad start fighting, and it gets to the point where like the dad just takes a shotgun and just starts shooting at the house, either shooting at her or just shooting in places in anger.
Right.
And Desmond looks over to Pim and is like, "Is this supposed to make me not want to shoot myself?"
When I still have this gun to my head, and your dad's literally just shooting shotgun shells all around the kitchen or the living room right now. Like, I could just help him out.
and Pim freaks out. I was like, no, you know what's great?
I got
What makes life worth living is making new friends. You go make some new friends. And so then they go to this party. And then they get kicked out of the party because he's too old.
Yeah.
Or Pim's too old.
Pim's too
It's
old.
a college party.
Yeah, it's a college party. I'm
And
like,
he
bro,
had
what are
his,
you
his shirt
doing?
tucked in. That's where he went wrong. I promise. Hey, listen, that's where he went wrong.
Yeah, a little too straight edged, a little too.
Mm-hmm. Is that a buckle on your belt?
Square?
It don't slide in and out. You got to put it through the. Oh no, you're definitely too old to be here. Does it
So
have
they-
one of those little open close metal things with a Reebok symbol or something on it?
Oh wow.
Nah, man, it's a seatbelt from way back
Oh,
in the day.
you gotta get. I forgot about the fucking things too.
I
We're
think
just
I
dredging
still
up
have one of the-
early 2000s culture now.
Right. I'm sure I still have one of the open closed parts, just not the belt. It's
Right.
somewhere in storage or something. Right?
Yeah.
Got
I
an
get-
initial on it.
They get ejected out of this party, and Desmond's getting ready to again just end it all. And then they decide to go to an amusement park, and I think it was
Fairyland.
was it? Yeah, but it was Charlie who recommended it, right? Like, you want to go, or was it Pim?
No, Pim. Pim came up with everything. Charlie, when it was Charlie's turn, he told him to look at an ant.
Oh, that's right. He's like, isn't that
Charlie,
cool?
Charlie couldn't even afford to buy a decent microphone. So
Fuck.
I hope that they changed that in subsequent episodes. 'Cause-
That's hilarious.
Hey.
But you're right, because it was pretty jumbled. You know what? Hey, I can be Charlie. We can rewrite this. Let's do it.
There we
Hey,
go.
we're running on zero budget, all right?
Mhm.
So we got
I think they were too.
Well, maybe.
That's why some of the I think like that was why some of the animation was the way it was as well. But it like added an effect to the show, which was great. Yeah, because the pilot came out April 1st, 2020, and this show just started earlier this year.
Oh wow.
So that pilot was like just supposed to be a one-off. This whole thing was just supposed to be a one-off. Probably nobody got paid for anything either, which makes it even better. So they go to Dave Land, where everything's Dave. You have the Dave roller coaster, the Dave, like everything's just Dave's head. Like every trash can has his face on it, and then you can also meet Dave, and Dave is just a regular guy.
Yeah, I was just about to say, quick question. Who's Dave?
Yeah, who's Dave?
He's Tom from MySpace.
He's definitely Tom from MySpace. He's either Tom or Mark. I'm more for Tom.
Tom didn't betray us. So.
He just gave us that over-the-shoulder picture.
Yep.
And just wanted to be your friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Whether you wanted it or not.
Yeah.
Sidebar. What if we find out Tom was catfishing us the whole time and it was Mark?
Dun dun dun.
Maybe the reason he had to be everybody's friend was because he needed to data scrape our profiles.
Oh, there you go.
Ultron type.
That's something I would do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to get it. Yeah.
So fucking they're at Dave Land and they get on the roller coaster and they're sort of enjoying themselves, and like they get Desmond a shirt and he just wears the shirt over his other shirt. And you could just still see like the sweat stains and everything going on. And the dude, like again, he's on the roller coaster and in the arcade, like kind of having a good time, but with a gun to his head.
And still in his boxers.
Yeah. Yeah, still in his boxers.
Yeah, no pants the whole show. Just boxers. Just drawers. Not drawers, drawers.
And they like they're finishing up their whole like adventure there. And they're like, well, don't you feel better? And Desmond goes into this monologue about how if Vaxologist life is just escaping the horrible reality of existence in these little tiny moments of happiness, and how it actually doesn't matter and nothing matters because eventually the planet's going to go into this, or the sun's going to explode and destroy everything. And this takes Pym's character and then just knocks, like he just becomes frozen. He just gets lost in the thought of like somebody being that dark.
Awake but comatose.
Yeah, and to the point where like Charlie has to like pick him up and scoop him up and hold him on the side as they walk away. And at this point, that whole ant thing happens. He's like, "Look at that ant! Isn't that ant cool?" Cousin's like, "I don't know. Yeah, kinda." And then that's it. That's the whole fucking conversation.
That's why it was funny to me. I don't. It was something I think without Pym being frozen in that moment, the ant and the Desmond's reaction to it doesn't hit as hard.
Yeah. No, definitely. Because Pym would have said something. Pym would have added to the ant, or like how wonderful it is that life exists even in this little tiny fucking ant or something.
Optimistic ass.
Yeah, right. Too optimistic. To the point where he screams, "I love kids," and Charlie like, "Don't be screaming that out in public."
Please don't scream that in public, brother. Hey, little dude. Hey, little dude. No.
Pym is so innocent too. It just seems like it'd be fine to just yell that in public. No one would ever think that's strange.
Mm-hmm.
And so Charlie gives up. Is like, all right, well, you have to come down to the office and sign some paperwork where you have to say that we didn't make you smile and you can go do your thing. And they agree. So they're going back to the office, and this is where this main plot interacts with the subplot of Alan and his cheese. So Alan's another character in the office, and this whole time he's trying to figure out, one, who stole his cheese, and two, who stole a paperclip. Because he counts the paper clips for some fucking reason.
You never met someone who works in an office and counts the office supplies?
Is that their job? I guess that's his job then, huh?
Nah, that's not their job. That's just what they do.
Oh man, they do. Luckily, no.
Oh yeah, met a few of those in my lifetime. That made perfect. That's as soon as he said it. and we're 74. I only count 73. I literally had like people I know pop in my head, and I was like, I know those people.
I know. Oh man, we got to give them a name. Like not paperclip counter, but some name. Like I was thinking in Clerks they do this where they give
You're
weird
right.
customers different names.
You're right.
So like the people, the women, the soccer moms that come in and check to find the latest date of the milk, like as if there's going to be some milk way in the back that won't get bad for months. They call them the milkmaids.
Yeah.
And even working in grocery stores, I mean, we've all heard of coupon queens. The ladies that come in with all the coupons and who try to get the expired coupons through and all of that.
It's just one coupon. What are you gonna do? Lose your job? Yes, actually, I might.
Yeah. Sorry,
But no, I said we call them cheese clip.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
People
like
who get mad that someone ate their cheese. So
and
Alan,
clips.
all right, Alan sets up a mouse trap, and you hear it snap, and he goes and he looks, and he finds out that there might be something behind the fridge. So he moves the fridge, and then there's just this giant hole in the wall where he climbs through and then finds a guy living in the office walls who's mad at him for not knocking before he came into his place.
He was naked and watching porn, so you know. You gotta
should,
be, you know.
announce yourself if you walk into
Should
somebody's
not.
place.
Yeah.
What are you even
And he's
doing
like
here? I don't
covering
think
up
that's
his
none of your business.
screen. Oh god. And he's just like, actually, I don't have time for this. I gotta keep going. So he leaves and he tracks this thing down, and it's like this little purple thing that we find. It's called a bibli, and it runs and jumps into something that looks quite suggestive. And he starts to, he starts. Was that another one of those moments where you're like, fucking goddamn it, Mike?
No, that one was actually funny. That one was funny, but I was actually wondering, like, so is the building? Never mind. Too much thought.
Oh yeah.
Building liar. What is it? They start to, Alan starts to beat on this very suggestive looking thing. It's a poor choice of words. Yeah, maybe it was a good choice of words. Who knows?
It's an egg sack.
Yeah, well, that's what we'll call it.
Mhm.
And it explodes, and all these biblis come out and flood the entire office. And the whole time this is happening, Mr. Boss is upstairs playing video games and telling him to keep it down there and getting back to his game. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Like, which, if you ever like gamed online, that happens. Whenever you're like, something happens in the house again, somebody could be breaking in. You don't know. And you're just like, hey, shut up. And you go back to getting, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I live alone.
Oh man, the things I have heard in video game chats, like, whoa, whose background was that? Oh, we quiet now? Nobody's talking? Somebody heard that.
Yeah.
The best is always when kids get in trouble.
Oh, for sure.
And you can
For
hear
sure.
their parents turning
You'll
off the
lose a
game.
No, yeah. You will lose an entire match or a round or something just to hear some kid getting chewed out in game chat. Like, yo, anybody listening? No, don't worry about that. They're gonna shoot you. They're gonna shoot you. Just, do you hear this, mom? Yo, is getting torched.
You just see so-and-so has left the game.
So-and-so lost their PlayStation for X amount of days.
And so all these biblis are all over the office, and that's the subplot. You find out that the little bibli on the wall took the cheese and the paperclip, and so Desmond and Charlie and Pim come back, and they open the door, and probably one of my favorite scenes is you see Alan on a cross, and he screams, I only wanted my cheese. And then like they're stabbing him with the spear like he's Christ proper. And it's another one like, what the hell am I watching scene?
Now that was moment number 2. Yes. That was, wow, we doing this.
Yeah, it just took a turn. Like all these like left or right turns. And so the little bibli thing, like this little purple thing, comes running over and running at them with the paperclip. And Desmond goes from shooting himself to shooting the little Bibli. And then he starts to smile.
That made me feel good.
And you get like this really nice fade into him, like his face as he's like at his rock bottom, to then being on TV and all dressed up nice, and he's become a Bibli extermination expert. And they're like, oh, all he needed was a little bit of purpose.
Mhm.
That's all he needed. Oh, look at that!
Message.
And they're all, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they're all chatting in that little break room. And then it ends on another like weird disjointed note where like that alien dancing on the TV just breaks through the television.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Oh, what the fuck is that? What does this do? I don't know, man. It's and that's like the whole first episode.
Mhm. Don't forget the alien is telling us thanks for watching.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for watching. It's so good.
Mhm.
And like the like I didn't know that I would enjoy it, like something that absurd that much. Because there's even been episodes like Aqua Teen where I've gotten like a little lost in its absurdism.
Yeah,
But
there's
I
also
think-
parts of Aqua Teen that will make you fast forward.
Yeah, and nothing in this made me want to fast forward.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough for you to fast forward
Fast
through.
forward, yeah.
Everything's moving so fast. So
You skipped 10 seconds. You were at the end of this show.
yeah.
Only 11 minutes.
Mhm.
It
Right.
took me longer to explain it in words than the actual episode.
Oh,
itself.
yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, like it doesn't pad its runtime. It doesn't do anything like silly like that. And like nowadays, with like just hour-long episodes of things and binge culture, it's kind of nice to go back to the old 11-minute form. Like, well, I guess old animation is like 20 minutes, so you have 10 minutes of commercials. But
Mhm.
nice to go to like 15-minute episodes of just
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. Here's the story. Here's everything. No padding. We're done. All right, we're out of here.
Mhm.
I wrote an episode for you. Like to see it? Here it goes.
Here you go. Yeah,
But
no,
yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of the.
Yeah, that's the.
I think there'll probably be a new renaissance of shows like that. I know that Love, Death, Robots does it. This show seems to do it as well. I think there'll probably be more of that coming.
Yeah,
soon.
Netflix has actually what I would consider, maybe we'll review this one day too, one of my favorite shows, honestly. It's called The Way of the House Husband, and it's very similar, very short episodes. I want to say the episodes got longer on season 2 than in season 1. In season 1, and even the live action version is like 6-minute episodes. But in that 6 minutes, you feel like you just watched a 30-minute flick.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm all for time economy for sure,
Mhm.
especially if you're going to be storytelling, because it makes you really have to tell a concise story.
Mhm.
You have
Oh,
all
no.
that time constraint, you know.
It's like the haiku of visual
Mhm.
storytelling.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, going to this kind of haiku notion, we get to see in episode 2. I think it's what's it, Mr. Frog.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, the episode's name is just Mr. Frog.
Hello.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Creepy.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. This is my house. Hello.
This is my
Uh,
house.
So in our second episode, we're met with a celebrity that got thrown off his show, and it was the Mr. Frog show. The Mr. Frog show is only like 11 seconds long.
Mhm.
Mm.
Hello, I'm Mr. Frog. This is my show. I ate the bug. He eats the bug. This is the end. I'm Mr. Frog. I love you. And the show ends.
That's it. It's a wrap.
And in the very beginning of the episode, it starts out with actually like live action video of like them going through like this like A&E autobiography of Mr. Frog,
Mhm.
pretty
Mhm.
much. We get a show. We get that he gets kicked off of it for, I think he was doing something crazy, like he ate a TMZ reporter.
Yeah.
He put a TMZ
Tried
reporter
to.
in his mouth.
Yes, that's right. Which is, can you blame him?
I mean, apparently he does purple heroin.
Right. Yeah.
I thought that was like stimulants, because
Yeah,
he was
purple
like,
heroin.
Maybe.
Oh, no,
is
that
a
would be purple. That would be
powder.
like purple cocaine then.
Yeah, like purple coke or something. I forget if going back to Rick and Morty, because at the end they have like a party and they have like Calaxian crystal. I
You're
forget if that's
right. That's
blue or
exactly what
purple.
that look. They're purple.
Yeah.
He also
Was
had
it
it in
Galactic?
South Park.
That was in South. That's in South Park as well.
Yeah,
Or
the one with where the Earth is getting canceled, and then they have to go to they have to go to space and then
yeah,
treat
the
with
alien
the
drugs.
executives. Of,
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can't watch that episode anymore, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Maybe even like all of these universes are just connected.
Maybe.
That or purple.
Some way?
Purple powder is just the choice for animated drugs.
Right
Possible.
for
Or
aliens.
we find out all the screenwriters are friends, and this is their way of showing you how deep it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. Or the animator, somebody. Somebody knows somebody and knows something about
yeah.
something.
Or
would
they
think
all,
that's
or they all just
accurate, yeah.
like Puff the Magic Dragon and all that good stuff from back in the day, crystal balls and all that.
Oh,
That song's creepy as fuck, dude.
It's super creepy, but it's only creepy as an adult who
Yeah.
reads into things.
Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea, and something through the autumn mists in a town called Galilee, right?
I believe.
And then they had Little Jackie Paper, which were zigzags. And
oh shit.
oh yeah, it's all about smoking pot.
Yeah,
Puff
I
the
was actually
Magic
told
Dragon.
it wasn't about smoking pot, but some other
Maybe
stuff.
not. Maybe not.
But you know what? Hey,
Maybe-
this is how I see it. It's substance abuse, period.
yeah,
maybe it's just about a dragon. Maybe you're just.
it could be
looking
about
into-
opium.
Yeah, we're
Right? Maybe
we're
not.
dragging all right.
So back to Mr. Frog. So Pim and Charlie try to help him. First off, get off of drugs, and then two, try to build his like PR image. But he keeps doing things to damage his image, whether it be choking a fan out for trying to take a picture with him, to what else does he do?
Say the N word on Jimmy Fallon.
I don't know if it's the N word though.
That
I
Jimmy
don't know if it's
Fallon
the
was
N-word
so
either, but it's
good.
the equivalent. Like the way they
Yeah.
did it, it's the equivalent of if you were to say it on Jimmy Fallon. And yes, that Jimmy Fallon was very.
It was hilarious.
Hilarious.
It was spot on. Is Mr. Frog Joe Rogan?
Ooh.
Is that what's going on? Right?
if this were fresher than 2020, I'd be right there with you.
yeah.
But I think Mr. Frog is just an adage for how celebrities are able to basically shoot somebody in the face on TV, go through the peril of being hated for a couple of months, and come right back.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And cancel
Unless they
culture
keep
is only
messing
3
up
days
the-
long, so hey.
unless they keep messing up their PR image, like doing stuff in real life is crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know if PR is a thing anymore.
Nah, not with bot farms.
Yeah.
Bot farms just buy your public image now.
The only people that still need PR have been around since like the late 90s, early 2000s. Your Beyonce's, Jay-Z's, LeBron James.
I feel like they transcend PR though too. 'cause
They
they're
probably,
so
yeah, I would
big.
even think so because they could just
Yeah.
go out, make a statement, and all their fans are going to make it happen. I'm trying to think of a couple of other people that are up there outside of, because I just realized that's basically all hip hop. But yeah, there are people who are in that situation that still need PR nowadays, but it's not many. It's not.
Well,
many.
the problem is that we don't need to we don't need to curate narratives for anybody anymore.
Right,
because
exactly.
Nobody has so what they did instead is they just flooded us with information, and now we can't find what's correct.
Yep.
Instead of trying to curate the information via trickle, they just opened the valve and flooded us with everything.
I mean,
You'll never be able to find
overload.
what's true, man.
that's what the CIA did, and look how well that worked.
It's been going on for a long, long time.
Oh yeah, Edward Bernays, man, propaganda.
That,
book.
that Jimmy Fallon animation though.
That's hilarious.
That
And
was
it's so
just drawn
spot
so
on.
different.
It was pretty good.
It's just the mannerisms though too, like the slamming of the desk and the
Yeah,
You can tell they're fans.
yeah.
just like very few pose. Yeah, it's just all posed too. Posed
Yes.
animation with
Mhm.
no in between.
What if we
Like,
find
you
out
know-
one of the writers on that particular episode is also a writer on Fallon? That would be hilarious.
Yeah,
that'd
I don't
be
think
good.
he takes. I don't think he takes jokes like that very well, to be honest. He doesn't seem like one that would be
Yeah.
keen on being made fun of.
the comedy type that can't take a joke. Yeah, I can see
When
that.
people are that nice and like the overly nice like that on TV, I'm always like,
Mhm.
something's up. Something's up. That's
Somebody's
why
gonna
like
say
all
it.
the people who play villains end up being really nice, sweet people
True.
because
But
they
all
get
of them
all
are
of that
assholes.
negative energy out through their roles.
Mhm.
When you have to be a nice person, that's when you have to let all the negative energy out elsewhere because you can't do it on camera. So
That's when you
That
just
is
kill hookers. Just bury 'em out in the
yeah,
desert.
exactly. There you go.
It's
Like
fine.
the old Hollywood did. Come on.
what is that? A 457? Nah, it's a 471. A 457 is Expo and a hooker out of the.
Yeah, that's Ben Affleck killed a hooker. What again?
What again?
So
And
they
y'all
have
say
to
Jane Silent
find,
Bob's not funny. Ugh.
dude. Jane Silent Bob Strike Back was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That was my that was the first introduction to like him to the View Askew universe. Was that movie?
Wow.
And my dad was like, "That's the guy from Dogma."
Right?
Mhm.
Dogma, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, you name it. I've probably seen it. Yeah, Clerks 1, Clerks 2.
Clerks the animated series.
I was
just
about to
4
say that.
episodes.
See, I never seen Tusk.
Tusk.
Yeah,
Tusk.
the animated series of Clerks should have been on for longer, but it
But it's
kept
not like his later films end up leaving that View Askew universe a bit. And then you have like the two you don't talk about. You have Cop Out and Jersey Girl. There's a while there because it was like, I'm the guy that made Jersey Girl. And now he has to deal with doing the He-Man stuff.
Yeah.
But,
That's
It's
what
okay.
happens when
He'll
you do
just
Jersey
cry
Girl.
about it.
yeah. Poor guy. That dude, I think that heart attack fucked him up in the head. or
Yeah, of
something.
course it did. Of course it did. But he's also a very emotional man, so he cried. He
Aren't
cried when
we
he interviewed.
all?
He cried when he interviewed the freaking what was it? The Cobra Kai cast. That's
Really?
when I knew. I was like, okay, come on, bro.
What he
This is-
crying about with the Cobra Kai girl? He was just so emotional.
It's
to
so
be up there with
emotional that they brought back the Karate Kid universe, and he's just like tearing up, and I'm like,
them.
dude,
Would
come
Karate
on,
Kid make
man.
him want to make movies? Like, no, you have to give me a backstory on that, Kevin. You don't just what?
No, just because Karate Kid equals nerd, and
Oh,
gotta.
Do you think
represent
there's any
nerd culture.
substances involved? Dun, dun.
Nah, I think he's just an emotional dude. I
Mike
think
said
he
it's a come
smoked. He
down
used to
cry.
smoke a lot of weed, and maybe he quit, or maybe he
Oh,
still
yeah.
does. But
Nah, if he quit, I could see that happening. I know a few people who quit smoking, and it was like, yo, why are you always crying and shit?
yeah,
It's
just so
sweet
it can make you more, sensitive to stuff too, for sure. It doesn't dull
Yeah.
you, right?
Well, you do have to start to build different mechanisms. Like, if I had like a shitty day, I would just go home and smoke some bowls and be fine. But once
Yeah.
you stop smoking, you have to
You gotta
deal
find
with
something
that shitty-
else.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to deal with that shitty.
And that's called.
You got to start doing heroin, duh.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call it a gateway drug for no reason. Jesus.
or sleeping pills, something.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah.
So they have to look for Mr. Frog's replacement, where you get Glib, who works at Smiling Friends, and no one knows what the hell Glib says.
Well, except Alan.
Because he's
apparently.
being glib.
Oh,
I like it.
and that's yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, it wasn't just me who was like, are they using his name as
Yeah.
a play on him not talking?
Yeah. Makes a bunch of
Clever.
noises.
And
I can't
spits.
do it. But yeah, so he goes to the audition, and they run through the lines of the show, and he does it, and then he spits, or like the producer's like, get this thing out of here, like what the fuck are you doing? He's like going in on him, and then he just spits on the producer, just right on his face, and the producer goes, this is the energy that we need. This is the bad boy persona that we're looking for. And then hires him, and then simultaneously, like up to their like show, tries to get him to not be so toxic.
Yes.
Right.
Spitting is toxic.
Literally what you hired him for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good critique about how we sort of treat people that we initially sort of revere and love for the things that they used to do, and then now we're tone policing them because it's passe to be the way that they were, the way that we originally loved them. It's like
It's fucking great.
I feel like Dave Chappelle's in that boat a lot most of the time.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's, you know, we like Dave Chappelle made his bones off of comedy that hit hard, you know, and now everybody's like, oh, clutching their pearls whenever he makes a point. It's like,
Well,
what did you expect? It was Dave Chappelle the entire
Right.
time.
Well,
Yeah.
it's what happens to me. It's the same as any generational change. Like
Mhm.
the people who didn't see this person do the exact same thing to get where they are
Right.
thinks it's crazy that they would do it at this level. Like, nah, they didn't get or power struck and start doing crazy shit.
You're
already doing it.
You're absolutely right, because that reminds me they're doing this whole like documentary expose about the Bunny Ranch and Hugh Hefner, and talking about how like the girls from so you remember Girls Next Door on MTV? Yeah, how it was like an abusive thing and all
One of
that
the girls
stuff.
from there has a new show with her husband and their kids right now.
Right. But they're doing a whole expose about how it was a toxic environment for them to live at the Playboy Mansion. And it was so funny because it dawned on me, there's a generation of people that don't know Hugh Hefner for being Playboy.
Right.
They know him from Girls Next Door, where he's just this nice old man that owns a mansion that pays for these girls to live with him. Like, they don't know him as a pornographer.
Right. Like, no, he's the cleanest pornographer you've ever seen. And it wasn't clean. It's just he found a way to make it mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But there's a lot of people that are up in arms about Hugh Hefner now because they thought he was just like this little old man that, you know, kept
should
girls
compare that
on
to
his
the
mansion.
Hustler, to the Hustler story, or any other of those pornographer stories.
And
Nice,
listen,
real dark
if they
shit,
take
real
out
fast.
if they could
Oh, yeah.
take out Hugh Hefner, it's only a matter of time before Ron Jeremy is getting it.
Ron Jeremy's in jail, dude.
What? Okay.
Yeah, he's been in prison. He's been in prison for years. They already got his ass.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
never mind, man. I didn't even know
On
that.
exactly what you would think, too, right? I mean,
Probably.
they got him on it.
Yeah.
You're going back to like those comedians, though. I wonder what would happen if you took the people that got offended to Dave Chappelle and let them listen to like Red Fox or Richard Pryor,
Their head would explode.
Carlin, or any other, or like just
No, I think they would give them a pass because they always give people a pass that don't no longer are like in the
Alive
cultural
right now, yeah.
zeitgeist.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that was back then. It's fine. But if you're speaking now, you don't get to speak the way you did back then. You know,
Crazy.
it's just
It's like Robin Harris couldn't even, like, we wouldn't even have Bebe kids if people thought this way 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
Test tube, baby. This, I don't
think
get it.
it'll eventually change back, though.
Yeah,
it will.
easily. People are going to get so soft eventually that it's just going to be normal for some people are going to have to rebel against that. And then you're going to see the tide change.
And then we'll have to worry about the pendulum swinging too far to the other side,
Yep. And which is what's going to happen.
which is definitely what's going to happen.
End up back in 1992. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a
Right.
It'll be fine. The thing that'll change would be a world war. Be okay.
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah,
the
it's
way.
coming.
Yeah, we could.
You mean that thing that's on the brink right now?
Yeah. the thing that they're all just going like, oh, come on.
Hey, do you want to? So
Come
I'm,
on.
Like
I'm
that
in
might
a,
be going on
Come
by
on,
next Thursday.
invade.
I have a special group of friends. We all play specs on dates for the World War coming up. Do you want to get in on this? There's some good odds.
I'm sure
April
you can,
1st is coming around real soon. That's where my money
Coming
is.
around.
mybookie.com.
You get to bet on the date and which country starts it.
Right.
I know which country's going to start it. I'm wondering which country's going to finish it.
It's funny. I had that dream
We
about
always
Belarus like months before that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, man.
What?
Something bad's gonna happen there.
Oh, something's definitely going down, man.
That
Yeah.
foresight.
I
But
don't
so
know.
they replaced Mr. Frog, pulling it all the way back to Smiling Friends from,
Yeah.
World War. Smile a little bit. Be happy.
Stage
Mhm.
war.
And he they try to make him less toxic. And on the night of the show, the night of the big showcase, everybody hates it, and the producer can't figure out why. And at the same time, Mr. Frog has kind of had enough of his whole career being done, because they tell him that they're shooting, or Charlie and Pim tell him that they're shooting a new show, that they're shooting a new episode, and his career is over.
Mhm. He's not in it.
Yeah. So he rushes down to the studio.
Hello.
Hello.
What do you mean?
No. Before he rushes down, he goes, maybe I should do what I should have done from the beginning. Bitch, So you knew what you were supposed to do?
He's still a good frog, though. He didn't want to do it.
No, he just had to eat the human flies.
Yeah. He goes down there and he eats the producer. The producer starts yelling at him, telling him that it tells Mr. Frog that nobody likes him, that he's done. Get the hell out of here. And Mr. Frog eats the producer in like 3 frames. Again, it's one of these like animations that's you could spend fucking seconds on it, right? So if you're typically on TV, things 30 frames a second. And you spend 3 seconds on it, that's 90 frames of animation. In other words, 90 frames of somebody drawing something or whatever. If you're doing it with video like this, it's 30 photographs being taken, and that's the illusion of video. So instead, they just do like 3 or 4 frames where this guy just gets eaten, and it looks fucking hilarious. It looks so good. And then the crowd goes crazy for him, and he becomes rich. And then he takes he gets all it cuts back to like the A&E biography thing. And she's talking about how he had all of these offers and he could have become rich in all of this, but instead he told him all to fuck off, starts his own show, and becomes one of the most powerful people within the entertainment
the
industry.
Joe Rogan thing.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
I think you're connected. This came out before Rogan.
I know. It's
Yeah, but wait. Yes, this came out before Rogan, but this came out around the time the Joe Rogan deal was being discussed.
Well, so
the
this
$200 million Spotify deal.
Yeah, but I don't know when this was animated. I know it came out
right,
in
right.
January 2022. So there's like a huge gap. So you have the pilot that comes out in 2020, some talk about them making a show, the decision to make a show, and then the series is actually currently running on Adult Swim.
Right.
So it comes out
2 didn't come out until this year.
Correct.
Oh, so no, that could definitely be about Joe Rogan.
You think he's over here doing purple crystals?
I think it's just a little synchronicity, just like the frog symbolism, right?
Right, and
has a certain connotation towards political leanings.
Right, and let's be very honest about what Joe Rogan's drug is. It's called UFC.
I thought you were going to say Alpha Brain.
Rogan's drug is Alpha Brain and elk meat.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alpha Brain, elk meat, and copious amounts of marijuana.
I like when you see him fucking like he's seasoning his elk meat with fucking Alpha Brain pills on it.
It's gonna be great.
Talking about DMT.
Mm-hmm.
And
Blacklisting Neil.
And so back to Mr. Frog thing, because we're almost done with this episode.
Oh yeah.
So they're going through like his choices of running his own show, and then out of nowhere, in like really bad keying composition style, you see Mr. Frog jump into the shot and try to kill this woman with a hammer. And he goes, "Hello," and she screams and runs off, and then the episode ends. And these are like, oh my god, it's so good. It's so fucking weird and funny.
I feel like this show should have Fiend at the end. I don't know why. Yeah, it just feels like it would work.
At each one, a little like 1920s grainy fucking.
Yep. With the filigree and everything. Yeah.
Sure. I don't know why, but you're right. That would absolutely work. Class and panache.
Mm-hmm.
Like the commentary on celebrities, and like I think you're right. Like they're able to kind of do things, or if they mess up, and they can come back months later and do something fine. But it takes something more extreme because it's the same bad behavior, but at the same time, it's not a TMZ reporter; it's a producer now.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's the person that's already painted as a bad guy, and he was showing himself true in that moment. So, people. If it's one thing we all know, it's that the public likes to see negativity, but at the same time, if you can supersede a evildoer, so to speak, in front of people, then they also like that. So it's weird. It's weird. It's all entertaining somehow.
This shit's hilarious, though.
Yeah, agreed.
Those were the 2 episodes. somehow turning 22 minutes of content into an hour.
Not bad.
That's called
Not
enjoyment.
bad.
It's so fucking like just strange to run down, because like this is the sort of stuff that like around like you would have to explain the episode to somebody,
Yeah.
and just like I like all the mixed media, like all like the joke twist, all the weird yeah, I just came back to the surreal or absurd sort of vibe about the whole thing, and it's something that I buy into all the time.
Mm.
It's funny. I just thought about the craziest thing about this whole situation is it's almost like Mr. Boss had nothing to do with episode 2. And I'm very curious, and I just thought about this. What the hell does Alan do?
He's the
I
guy
think-
that counts all the stuff.
Yeah, he's the office administrator. Probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The office administrator.
I think Mr. Boss is the devil, though.
I
weird,
kind of, or a demon or something.
Mhm.
He's too
At first, I was
kind.
wondering why his eyes turned
Way too
red, but then the
kind.
producer's eyes turned red. I was like, oh, okay, evil moments, everybody's eyes are going to turn red. Got it.
Mhm.
His room
Yeah.
does. Mr. Boss's office does look like just a vacuum.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's got a Hitler haircut.
Sitting
So.
there.
He has a Hitler haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Hitler had
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
I'm being funny.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought we had like a Mandela effect thing going on right now. I was like, hold on, wait a minute.
Nah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know Hitler had like it almost to me. I know he didn't, but I see Hitler with like a little fade and a little
A little
flip-top,
fade. Yeah,
flip to this side, but not the little hang down stuff. Just like it's like a pompadour almost.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know the funniest thing? It's Nibia. Yeah, Adolf Hitler, Nibia. In Nibia, there's a politician named Adolf Hitler that won office by like a massive majority this year or like late last year.
You would be shocked by the amount of Adolf Hitlers in this world.
So why would you name your kid that?
Adolfo
I don't think you
Hitler?
should dig any deeper into that
I do
question.
not
bro.
think you should dig in. Just know they still exist.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So it's okay to
And they're
name your
not
kid
all in
that.
Argentina.
It's okay to
God.
name your hair, right? To kid that, but it's not okay to rock the Hitler stash. That's the thing we've thrown away.
It is okay if you call it adamantly over and over again a Charlie Chaplin stash. But you have to say it to everybody you meet. You have to be like, hey, I'm Mike. This isn't a Hitler stash. It's a Chaplin stash. Just so we get that clear.
Just don't. Yeah. Just know.
Chaplin did it first. So let's just be clear about
That should be all you say. Is that a no? Chaplin did it first.
Right.
Chaplin did it first.
I'll be
They look
the
at you, they
life
don't know
of
what
the
you're talking
party.
about, and they know.
Yeah,
so
is
let's
that a
get
hill
that
you
flash
really
they
want
know.
to die on, though? Right? It's like,
Hey,
I'm standing up for my freedom to rock the Chaplin stash.
if you feel like Desmond at the beginning of that episode, maybe
maybe.
Yeah, man.
something to live for. Keep you alive.
Sure.
Hey, man, it might change the world, right? All of a sudden, you bring it back.
Yikes.
It's
Uh,
not.
the last time that stash was around, it did change the world. So it's not-
Definitely changed it more than the porn stash, indeed.
yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, this is getting way too dank for civilized conversations. So we
Are
should
we
probably
making
wrap
our
this
own
up.
episode
I didn't-
of Smiling Friends? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I know, I
It's
feel like
it's a dank meme mind virus. That's
I
what it
didn't.
is.
I'm sorry. I skipped over. Yeah, I was like, yeah, like you want to go down last impressions? Oh yeah, we got to do ratings, huh? Forgot all about that. And then we have to be quote unquote civilized.
Well,
No, we don't do ratings
have to
until
do
we're
ratings.
finished with the series.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's good. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
so this can stand out on its own, and once we finish the series, then we'll do an overall
Right.
rating.
Had I taken that risk, Mike, Peacemaker probably would be already off the table, but
Oh yeah, right.
it's not.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Is there a certain like rating for? Okay, because I would imagine then you would have some sort of like rubric where it's like if it's not meeting this level of quality per episode, then we just shelve it and don't watch it.
Yeah. If it's a flop, then we just kind of don't go forward with it. But that's only happened, I think, once before.
And you hear like if we do shoot something that super sucks, you hear a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah, you do. All right, but yeah, you guys you want to add anything before we wrap it up?
I am genuinely interested, and I'm probably gonna once we're done for the night, I'm probably gonna watch some more of this.
There you go. They're super quick, so you can just like you can watch them now and then refresh yourself the next time we have
Exactly.
an episode. So
Yeah.
And things happen so fast, and there's so much going on in the frame that I'm sure multiple viewings will be rewarded. I just try to Yoda that shit. Multiple viewings, reward it will be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know what this reminds me of is Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it has that same vibe,
same sort of vibe to
which
it.
is a great internet series if you haven't checked it out.
Mhm.
Man,
No,
things
a
I
good cult
forgot
one.
about.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. All right, guys. Well, we're good to wrap it up. All set.
Remember,
Okay.
green is not a creative color.
That green is not a creative color. I love that shit.
And I actually hope somebody does make someone smile.
Time is a construct, and I am a clock. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening tonight. We appreciate you very much. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. I certainly did. I hope that you guys are watching Smiling Friends along with us. We will be back next week and talking about the next subsequent episodes as well. We're here every Sunday and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So be sure to check in with us then. Consider giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button there down below on our YouTube page. It would really help us out. We're trying to build up our audience, and this helps tremendously for us. So we really appreciate you guys watching, and we appreciate all you out there. We also have podcasts that we do separately. Mike and I have a podcast Monday nights. It's called Exofathom. It's on at 8 p.m. You can catch us on Facebook and on YouTube. We're also on Rumble and Verbal and Odyssey, all at Exofathom. So be sure to check us out there if you're interested. Keelan's got a podcast. It's called If Numbers Could Talk. It's on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Please go check him out on Facebook and on YouTube. If Numbers Could Talk, make sure you give him a thumbs up. Leave him a comment. Give him a suggestion for what you'd like to see in the future. He's talking about numbers, stats, figures. So anything that he can crunch the numbers on and you're interested in, let him know, and he'll do an episode. So check him out. If Numbers Could Talk, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. We also got our patron friend and guest host of the show, Dijon the Mustard. He's got a Twitch channel. It's called Strawberries and Coffee. He's shooting on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. So be sure to check him out, Strawberries and Coffee. He also has a YouTube page of the same name, Strawberries and Coffee, where you can check out all of his archived videos. So please go show him some love. Let him know that we miss him here on Screen Time Continuum. But if you're a purist at heart and just want to hear us blabber on about movies and TV and critique things for which we have no credentials to critique, thank you for taking this trip through the Screen Time Continuum with us. For Screen Time Continuum, I am Nick.
I am Keelan.
And I'm Headphones.
Good night. All right.
Oh, I want it.